2015 at Nashik, and he'll be deliberating the next 20 minutes on freelance private practice in India, aims and objectives of PPF, the way forward. Dr. Gupta, please. Thank you.
Good afternoon, respected chairpersons and dear friends and colleagues in the audience. It's indeed a proud privilege for me to be talking on a topic which is close to my heart. I bring you greetings from the ISS Square in Nashik, a monument which we are all very proud of. And any of you ever coming to Nashik, please do make it a point to visit this. At all anesthesia related activities, we do have some activities at our square. Coming to my topic about freelance private practice in India, aims and objectives of Private Practitioners Forum and the way forward. Actually, if you look at the history of anesthesia in India, it was in 1847 when the first youth anesthesia happened. But the first qualified anesthetists came to India in the later half of the 20th century. The relevance of that I would like to mention about. Regarding the PPF movement in India, I feel it all started way back in 1989 with Dr. Abhay Patwari and Dr. Parak. After that, subsequently, Dr. Shakil Momin, Chakra Rao sir, Dr. B.V. Mishra, they all encouraged us to start the PPF movement in the country about 6 years back. And since then, Dr. Virendra Sharma and me, we have been trying to do whatever best we can. Some important dates which I would just like to mention is on 12th September 2017, we started the first WhatsApp group. On 27th November 2017 at ISACON Calcutta, we had the first official meet with our dear past president, Dr. B.V. Mishra. And on 17th February, we had the guidelines for practicing anesthesiologists, which are very much prevalent and available on our website for everyone to download. I feel this is the first historic meeting where it all started in the last 6 years. It's indeed a proud moment when our national president sir is here, Srila Babu sir, appreciated our work with his National President Appreciation Award at Agra. Private practice in India, I feel when we finish our post-graduation, it's all about full of hopes, dreams, ambitions. We have a lot of dreams and we think that we are going to do great in private practice. But once the challenges of private practice come in and the stress associated, things may not be very rosy, especially in the initial years of a practice. And with poor performances, you have low achievements. Gradually, I have seen a lot of people developing a low self-esteem, and the cycle keeps on repeating. And very soon we are converted into this. So I myself have been practicing for the last 30 years, and whatever I have achieved, I'm a happy practicing anesthesiologist today. And I wish that this should happen to any of our colleagues and friends. So that's why my aims and objectives that we laid down in PPF and the activities that we have been doing, I thought it's a good way to discuss and let people know what all can be done. The PPF was started with the aims to standardize and improve the working conditions in anesthesia practices, to increase patient safety, incorporate medico-legally safe practices. It's very good that the organizers kept a medico-legal talk before my talk. I need to emphasize less on the legal aspects about practice now. Of course, we want to have adequate and justifiable remuneration on case basis. Unfortunately, remuneration is very rarely discussed in anesthesia conferences. Only yesterday, I feel I heard one speaker, Dr. Thomas Kochi, making a mention that when he's doing cyanotic heart diseases, he expects that his charges probably should be more than the surgeon's charges. And of course, I believe the more and more we work with unity, safety and dignity in every city of the country, our future can be very bright. This was our logo designed very aptly by Dr. Sandeep Sajan. I believe he's from this part of the country only. And what all we stand for is very nicely delineated. What are the advantages of being a freelancer? I feel today in the country about 60 to 70% of the anesthesiologists are freelancers. And some of the advantages are, we are a free bird. We can decide when you want to work, with whom you want to work. We can easily say no to any surgeon if you want to. We can decide on which particular day we want to work or we don't want to work. We want to go for a holiday. It's very easy for us to just leave and go. You can individualize the setups after the first few initial struggle phase that I feel all of us have. And we can have a very great relationship with our surgeons. And of course, by and by, you should decide and quote your own charges. Some of the disadvantages, yes, it's a one-man show. Infrastructure can be compromised in many situations, especially the juniors are forced to work in very poor setups, sometimes, especially in smaller cities. Medico-legal issues, if they happen, they have to be faced alone if you're a freelancer. How to get work from hospitals can be a problem. Remuneration can be compromised, especially in the initial few years. And of course, some notorious surgeons try to exploit us if possible. I feel today a freelance anesthesiologist is easily exploitable, develops a low esteem most of the time, is easily held guilty for whatever untoward event happens in the operation theatre. Insecurity is a big problem we all face. He may not be very popular with his family because the moment we plan of going out for a movie or something, he finds that he gets an emergency and ultimately gets depressed because of the work pressures, family tensions, inferiority complex that some do develop, the competition and undercutting by colleagues. I feel one of the very major problems that all cities face, which I've been hearing again and again from all the WhatsApp groups that we have been having on PPF. And many times he is less interested in meetings, conferences, and less participates in IS activities. But at the same time, we heard our Dr. Bala Venkat talking yesterday. We are all great technical experts when required. And I feel I am very proud to be an anesthesiologist because we not just play a critical role as captain of the ship in the operation theatres, but we are the best people to manage so many conditions. I feel Dr. Bala Venkat used the word of we are angels in disguise, and I absolutely am with him. We have so many roles to play, but unfortunately our branch has not been recognized the way it should have been. These are the guidelines, can be easily downloaded from our ISA website. It has basically 4 sections, whereby we have laid down minimum mandatory standards in operation theatre, the functioning of city branches of ISA, the ethical conduct of anesthesiologists, and the remuneration. The minimum mandatory standards say that any short or small surgical procedure has to have the presence of anesthesiologist in the operation theatres. We have seen the medical legal talk which also emphasized on this. PAC is an utmost important thing which many of us may not be doing, but please do it. Always see that the patient is properly investigated and optimized. See that the anesthesia machine is working well. See that your workstation, monitoring equipments, essential drugs, the airway equipment, all are present and ready to be used. The safety checklist is a must. An adequate facility to manage emergency and to transfer patient to a high center if required, as was again very nicely depicted in my previous talk. I feel the checklist is very mandatory, and I feel the WHO checklist is very good, which all of us should be following in private practice. And coming to the next direction, that is the functioning of city branches. I feel regular monthly meetings is an absolute must, and we have to increase our own awareness and make ourselves known in the city by having your own PAC clinic. Anesthesia specific consent form is a must today because of the medical legal implications. Having posters about anesthesia, having interactive website. In Nasik we had made a film which was on anesthesia awareness, which we were showing in all the theatres. Have conferences, have regular discussion with amongst your members, get to know your juniors, see what problems they face. I feel IS is doing a wonderful job of teaching CPR, and even disaster management can be looked into in almost most of the cities in the country today. Celebrate a World Anesthesia Day as best as you can. Have t-shirts with slogans. Give an anesthesia card to your patient. Also involve the families in anesthesia activities. Having a family get together or picnics or going for treks together definitely brings a lot of harmony amongst the members. And in moments of distress, I feel they are always there to support you. Celebrate festivals if possible. Go to each other's house more often. Welcome your juniors very warmly. Have a grievance cell. Have a rescue team in each city. Having your own office or library is very useful. Follow the minimum monitoring standards which we have laid down. Increase our self-esteem. Have minimum charges in each city and see that it is followed. Unite against diversity. Make anesthesia your passion. Surround yourself with like-minded colleagues and enjoy life to the best of life. Having good relations with seniors and colleagues is very important. Every senior may not be very welcoming, but I feel it's for us to go down and see that you get close to your seniors in your city, because it's very important that in case of distress, they are the first people who can come and support you. Develop safe anesthesia practices, having proper communication, documentation, having an action plan ready for crisis management in case you have violent relatives after a death on table. Know your local police, your local IMA. Have your politicians, if you can be close to them, keep their phone numbers ready. And I've always believed that if some of us can be happy, like I'm a very happy anesthetist today. So I'm just been trying to spread my ideas all over the country in the last 6 years. And I feel if I'm happy and I can give happiness to my friends, nothing better in life. Because true joy in life comes when you inspire, encourage and guide someone else on a path that benefits him or her. And why we all should be happy? Obviously, there are so many reasons why we should be happy. It has been found and proved that happy people make more money. We are more productive at work. We are smarter, more creative. We are healthier, live longer, have stable and fulfilling marriages, have more friends, are more generous, cope better with stress and trauma. We are more resilient and have a stronger immune system. Ethical conduct. PSC, as I said, is an absolute must, medical legally. Anesthesia specific consent is there in our annexure. Recording the vitals every 5 minutes is very important locally. Always communicate with the patient and his attendants. Always communicate your documentation and document your communication. It's very, very vital in today's world. Have a proper indemnity insurance, as sir rightly mentioned, maybe out of 1 crore is what we should all be looking at. Have an action plan ready in case of crisis management. And I feel some practice mantras which I would just like to give across to the junior friends in the audience is always have a self-esteem, never get exploited. Be 100% committed to your profession. Be well focused in OTRs. Never feel insecure. Always work unitedly. Be cheerful, enthusiastic. Have command on your professional skills. Today is the world of sharing responsibilities because nobody is going to give you any medal for the extra risk you are taking. But if anything goes wrong, you will be fired alone. So learn to take calculated risks in your practice. Notes are the utmost important evidence in deciding sentencing or acquitting of anesthesiologists in court. And also the medical insurance companies these days look up the anesthesia notes also before they are ready to reimburse the medical expenses. And the MCR regulations of 2002 say that it is imperative to give our records when demanded. Otherwise, that itself can lead to be a cause of negligence. Record keeping is very vital. Record everything on paper, your pre-op visit, your pre-op questionnaire, the anesthesia fitness, pre-op instructions, intra-op records, monitoring, post-op care that we have given. Even sir mentioned this case that happened where the PAE was not done, it was not even mentioned. So the court has given a ruling in this Arunaben Kothari case where when PAC is not done before giving anesthesia, unexplained cardiac arrest during anesthesia leading to death is considered negligence. In another case of Krishna Prasad versus State of Karnataka, there were contradictory statements about the cause of arrest and there was no proper record of the continuous monitoring of pulse and blood pressure. So obviously both cases went against the anesthetist. So poor record means poor defense, no record means no defense. Some of the PPF related activities we have been doing, as I said, we have the interactive WhatsApp group of each state. If any of you wants to get added to the state group, you can please contact me after my talk. We have always started and encouraged alternate source of income through investment ideas. We have been having PPF sessions in the last 4 national conferences and many state ISACONs are following the same. Many cities have proper dedicated sessions. And during COVID time, we had a helpline where we are trying to help all our members. These 11 golden rules of anesthesia will go a long way in becoming a very good anesthetist. Remuneration, I feel I have always had this in my mind. From where this remuneration talk came up, we should be paid 20 or 30% of the surgeon's charges. I feel when William Morton, after his demonstration of ether, it was his technicians which are giving anesthesia for almost a decade. And this continued even in India, as I mentioned that it was only in the later half of 20th century where we had qualified anesthetists. And of course, we are a dependent branch, we agreed. We did have high mishap rates. We had poor safety precautions. Good drugs were not available. But now, I feel we are a developed country. We should have a logical payment of anesthesia. Relative value add is what is being followed in various countries like Australia and New Zealand. I feel we should follow that. And one very important take-home message I would have to give, anesthesia charges should be independent of surgeon's charges. We should decide our own charges. This is our letter which we have sent about 3 weeks back to the IRDA, trying to focus on the same point that we should be considered as separate specialty. The anesthesia branch should be contacted for the anesthesia charges and they should be decided by the anesthetist and not by the surgeon. And we are waiting for a reply for the from the IRDA. And after this, we are planning to even go ahead and talk to the other government agencies like CGHS and all that. I mean, you should be considering anesthesia charges as a separate entity. This was a survey I thought after 6 years of whatever we have been doing in PPF. Let's see what the anesthesia work culture in the country is. And glad to say that about 1,550 have responded so far. And some of the questions were quite obvious and the results were quite glaring to me. Do you have monthly dinner meetings of ISA? Only 21% recorded yes, 59.6% said no, 16% said maybe, and a small group does meet over tea. So definitely, I feel I take it that our guidelines, which we are emphasizing on having monthly meetings, are being followed only by 21% of the patients. How happy are you with your professional remuneration? Only 6.7% said they are extremely happy. Others, most of the 30% said they are extremely unhappy, and the rest of them were something in between. An alternate source of income is what almost all industries, about 87.6% said that they want an alternate source of income. So imagine how unhappy we are with our professional remuneration. Has the city branch set minimum charges for each surgery? 56.3 mentioned no. It was only 33.1% said that yes, we do have a minimum charges. Whether it's being followed or not is another question. How happy are you in a professional career? I was happy that about 15% said they are very happy and extremely happy in their professional career, and about 10 to 12% said they are extremely unhappy. The rest were on the fence. How happy are you with the present OT setups? Well, again 10% were extremely happy, and the others were pretty decent. Unfortunately, there are no figures to compare before our PPF movement started or not. This was a very good lesson for me, because when I started my practice, I didn't have oxygen in my practice for the first 4 or 5 years. But today I was very happy to know that almost 75% said they have a central pipeline, and all the other operation theatres have jumbo lines. I feel make anesthesia a passion, because working hard for something we don't care about is called stress. Working hard for something we love is called passion. Some practice tips and mantras which I follow is laid on your priorities. Law of filtration of surgeons, I have followed it, and I'm very happy today. I'm working with 4 or 5 surgeons and I'm very happy. Keep your cool, maintain a good rapport. Spouse as a surgeon, in my survey, most of the anesthetists who have spouses as surgeons are very happy. Be good professional is what I would like to tell everyone. Dress up appropriately, introduce yourself to the patient, explain who you are, ensure appropriate records, follow up the patients, be active in local bodies, be punctual, avoid overlap of cases. I always believe that one should work smarter in life and not just harder. I mean, in this video, what I'm trying to tell everyone is, the smarter you are, take minimal cases in the day. Try to see that you don't disturb the surgeon by spoiling his schedule. Do less cases. The good surgeons will appreciate you, and in the long term, they are the ones who are going to call you. By this video, I'm just trying to say that you learn to be smart in your practice. You don't have to do 10 cases in a day. In private practice, if you do 2 to 3 cases in a day, which I am doing today, and if I have a take home of around 10 to 15,000 every day, I'm very happy. I feel I have enough time for myself. I spend time with my family, and there are a lot of things which I have associated myself in the recent past, including a lot of social activities. So I wish and hope our guidelines are implemented in every OT in the country, especially rural India. We should decide our own remuneration and decide what we want to charge. RVG, if implemented, will definitely help. Third-party insurances should be forced to recognize us as a separate specialty and accept the official charges of ISA. So we are coordinating with IRDA, as I mentioned, and clarify that we are consultants and we have the right to charge separately, irrespective of what the hospital or surgeon charges. I request all state and district ISA bodies to have more dedicated PPF sessions. Improving safe work culture is our ultimate aim. So please follow all the guidelines that we have mentioned. Our consent form, yes, has to be updated post-COVID, and RVG, I feel, should be endorsed. These are the pending communications. As I mentioned, we are trying to contact the Ministry of Health, the GIPSA, the Niti Aayog, the GIC, the CGHS, and we plan to file an IRTI if IRDA does not respond to our call. Because I request everyone in the audience to think on these lines. On what basis is anesthesia charges a percentage of surgeon charges when the qualification is the same? Salaries of surgeons and anesthesiologists are same in any job. Then why the difference in private practice? From where does this 30% came? I mentioned those technicians. Why are we paying more than the surgeons for our indemnity insurance policy? These are all questions I hope to highlight in the near future and get back, because the PPF is all about benefits to the private practitioners. Only if we can do it on a mass scale in all over the country, we can do better, because unity in each branch goes a long way in improving the work culture in every city. I have chosen to make the rest of my life the best of my life. Actually, we all think on these lines, we can do very well. Attitude is a little thing that makes a big difference. Surround yourself with those of the same mission as you. Did you know the National Institute of Medicine found that anesthesiologists are the only physician specialty to significantly reduce patient mortality by there were 50 times fewer deaths when the anesthetist was on duty. Good things come to those who believe. Better things come to those who are patient, and the best things come to those who never give up. So I appeal to all of you, arise, awake and stop not till our goal is reached. And please come forward with your suggestions and tips that you may have to make the anesthesia movement of PPF as good and as best we can in our country. I thank you all for your patient listening. You can please give me your phone number if you want to be added in the groups. And let's all move forward. This is what I'm hoping to do in the near future. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Gupta. Please have your seat. We'll come back to the discussion.